fuck with a winner. Cause you felt like you was losing, only for the winner. Move just to keep from cooling, like only for the winner, only for the winner, only for the winner. Boy, my heart is cold.
What's good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil McLeod, and I'm a full-time eBay and Poshmark seller. And in today's video, I'm going to cover part 2 of the day where I picked up 80 pairs of shoes in one day. Now, if you guys didn't catch that first video where I shared the Adidas haul, definitely check that one out because I gave a bunch of helpful hints and tips on how you can go to outlets and do the same exact thing as I did. But since a few days have passed and I've actually started selling some units, I definitely got some more hints and some more tips for you guys. So I definitely just wanted to go ahead and drop a video so you guys can kind of just follow along the entire journey, and if you come across a really good deal, you can definitely do this yourself. So like I said, if you didn't catch part 1, you should probably watch that one first because that will give you some more perspective and really kind of gear you in the right direction and learn some more helpful tips as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright y'all, so I'll basically pick up the story from where I left off. So once I left the Adidas outlet with the 40 pairs of Adidas Iniki boosts, I definitely still had some room in my car, and since I drove about 45 minutes to get to the outlet, I didn't just want to go home after that. So like I said, having those garbage bags were really clutch because I did end up having to park in front of another store, and because I had the garbage bags kind of covering up my Adidas boxes, so I didn't feel like, you know, people would walk by and see a ton of shoes in my car. So I definitely wasn't worried about that. So like I said, those garbage bags was a huge tip. So definitely keep that in mind if you guys are planning on sourcing at any outlets or anything like that. So once I got to the second outlet, basically they sell a ton of Uggs, and it's usually at huge discounts. Now it's an outlet, so the difference is between this outlet and some of the other retail outlets like Nike and Adidas is that when you purchase some stuff from, say, Adidas outlet, if it doesn't sell within 30 days, you can actually go in and return it within at least 30 days. Some stores give you 60 days, but I'm pretty sure Adidas and Nike, I think they give you 30 days. That's a really good thing if you make a bad buy and a whole month has went by and you had made no sales. You can definitely just go in and return it, and basically you will go ahead and get your money back. But with this particular outlet, they don't accept any returns and everything was final sale. When it comes to making similar purchases, definitely keep that in mind, and you might have to do some more research in terms of what's selling and what's trending at that particular time, because you might be picking up an item that might be a really good deal, but you might not be able to sell it anytime soon because it's deeply discounted, because it's out of season, the sizes may be off. There's a ton of different things to consider, and I'll talk about that later on in the video, but definitely keep that in mind because I had to go through all of these different thought processes before I made this purchase. So like I said, I got to the Ugg outlet and thankfully there was a sale going on and everything was 60% off. Now the last time that I went to the Ugg outlet and they had a crazy sale, I only purchased like 5 or 6 pieces because I was kind of nervous. I still wasn't sure if the item that I was purchasing was actually going to be worth the flip. So I didn't want to invest too much money. So I spent about $100 that day just to be on the safe side, and those shoes ended up selling out within about 2 weeks. So I promised myself the very next time that I come across a really good deal like that, I was going to go all in and spend at least $500 to $600 just so that I can really take advantage of that deal. And thankfully, as soon as I got there, everything was 60% off and shoes were selling for $17.99. So under $20 per shoe. And you already know I was super excited because the Adidas that I purchased like 2 hours prior was $20 plus tax. So the first thing that I did was that I really tried to do the research for each individual style and see which one was actually trending, see which styles that were actually selling for a decent amount of profit on eBay and on Poshmark. So I basically just checked the sole section on eBay and on Poshmark to see exactly how much these shoes were actually selling for, and really just to see if it was actually worth the investment. And of course, since I ended up leaving with over 40 pairs of shoes, it was definitely worth it. So the first thing that I did was to try to grab all of the shoes that were in a relatively bigger size, because all the shoes that I got for the most part were size 5.5, size 5, size 6. So all of those are smaller sizes, and most small sizes do still sell well, but at the same time I knew larger sizes like 8, 8.5, 7, I knew those were the sizes to be on the lookout for. So those are the ones that I tried to grab first, but of course this was the last day of the sale, so a lot of those larger sizes were already gone. So I ended up picking up a lot of size 5s, a lot of 5.5s, and I did end up with some size 9s in certain styles, but for the most part the styles that I know that are popular and have potential to sell for a decent amount of profit, those were really the ones that I ended up getting in a size 5. So one thing that I did in order to pick the right shoes, well, at least the shoes that I thought was right, was I didn't try to go for the basic generic Uggs that you see everywhere. I tried to get some of the Uggs that were a little more unique, a little more eclectic, the ones that had like animal prints and different stuff like that, brighter colors, because I know it's about to be spring and summer, and those are the colors that have a higher potential of selling. So I tried to gravitate towards just the shoes that stand out a little more. And one thing that some people may disagree with, some people may think some of those trendier colors, the brighter colors, the non-traditional prints, some people may actually stay away from those because they wouldn't think those would sell. But after checking the comps on eBay and on Poshmark, I realized that those are the ones that actually sell for a lot more money. So I definitely decided to pick those up instead. And for the most part, I have a ton of different shoes with animal prints and different type of eclectic colors and stuff like that. So that's the one that I kind of gravitated towards. But at the same time, I wanted to get a bunch of different styles. So shoes that can sell from the spring to the summer, and then some shoes that will probably end up selling in the fall and winter as well. So this is definitely more of a long-term investment, but at the same time, the shoes are only $17 plus tax, and if some of them take a little longer to sell, I'm not going to be tripping about that, because at the end of the day, I'm going to easily more than double my money on every pair of shoes that's sold. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, something else to consider is the fact that whatever shoes you're purchasing, always remember and always have the same mindset of, you know, you're not the only reseller in town. So chances are somebody else probably went to the same sale that you went to, and they probably purchased either a ton of shoes. They may have purchased some of the same shoes that you purchased as well. So you definitely have to understand that even if you're checking the active listings and there's not a ton on there right now, just know that within a few days or maybe a few weeks, you're going to start seeing the market being not necessarily flooded, but you're going to start seeing a lot of the same shoes that you purchased. You're going to start seeing them on eBay and on Poshmark later on. That's something to consider, but at the same time, I said mine is going to be more of a long-term investment. So my goal is to make sure that once all of the other shoes and a lot of those other sizes are sold out, the only place people will be able to get them from is either from Ugg itself or from me. Now, in terms of sales, one thing that you're going to have to remember, and it's something that I'm somewhat struggling with, is that you're going to start getting offers, and some of the offers may not necessarily be lowball offers, but you definitely still have to keep your bottom line in mind. So at the end of the day, I did purchase these shoes for $17.99 plus tax. So that's roughly, let's say, $20 a pair. But if you price your shoes correctly, chances are you might only need to shave off a few dollars in order to convert a sale. And most people would actually just take advantage of the deal that you're giving them and just go ahead and buy it flat out. But one thing that I've been running into is that I'm getting offers $10 to $20 less than my asking price. And I know for some people they would go ahead and accept that. But for me, like I said, I'm actually going to hold on to these pairs just so that I can make sure that I'm maxing out on my profit potential. And like I said, once these shoes are sold out, they're pretty much going to be sold out for good. So I definitely want to keep that in mind and just hold on to them so that I can get as much money as possible. I've even gotten some offers that were like $10 less than my original asking price, and I still countered, because those $5 and $10, especially when you're dealing with a lot of volume, that definitely adds up. So if you was to give everybody a $5 discount or everybody a $10 discount, you can be losing out on a lot of profit. So definitely keep that in mind, especially if you buy a ton of shoes at one time, because although you just spent a lot of money and you're definitely just trying to recoup it as soon as possible, you don't want to play yourself and give everybody a deal and realize that you left about $200 to $300 on the table in terms of profit. Alright y'all, one quick note. I do know I said I'm going to be pretty firm on my prices, but if there's anything that changes in the market and I realize the average sale prices went down, I'm definitely going to go in and adjust some of my prices just so that I can remain competitive in the market, because at the end of the day, if 2 to 3 months pass by and I haven't made much sales, that definitely means I've done something wrong. So definitely keep that in mind in case you guys are trying to do something similar. And last but certainly not least, the tip that I have for you guys, especially if you're selling a bunch of product in bulk, one thing that you don't want to do is that you don't want to rely solely on those items selling. You still want to hit as many thrift stores as you can. You still want to go out to the flea markets and garage sales on the weekends, just so that you can have a steady amount of inventory coming in, because even though these shoes are going to sell and I'm going to make some decent profit on it, the profit isn't promised and it's definitely not going to happen overnight. So you still need to have a good amount of inventory inventory. That way you can still maintain some consistent sales if the shoes aren't selling as fast as you want them to. Alright y'all, that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you got any comments, any questions, shoot that in the comment section. I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Fuck with a winner, cause you felt like you was losing, only for the winner. Move just to keep from cooling, like only for the winner, only for the winner, only for the winner. Boy, my heart is cold, and I'm too cool to sweat it. I should've never offered it. I'm tight and now I'm off this shit.